Now, my pick of the week this week is something that has been fascinating me over the last couple of years, and that is all of these recent UFO releases from the U.S. government. And now there's a show on the History Channel that is diving into this topic and interviewing a lot of the people that have been experiencing this unknown phenomena while they've been out mostly on military exercises in the air and in the ocean. The show is called Unidentified. I think it's a 6-part miniseries on the History Channel. And this all kind of started back in 2017 when the New York Times published an article that you see on the left, along with some footage that was released by the U.S. government from fighter jets when they were trying to intercept a bunch of these unknown objects off the coast of San Diego. This actually happened. They picked this stuff up on radar. They have radar operators who have been talking about what they saw on their screens. They sent fighter jets out to intercept these things. The pilots saw these devices visually buzzing around in the air in ways that defy aircraft as we know it. They also have sonar operators who picked up these devices when they went underwater. Apparently they could dive into the water, run at 100 knots underwater, and then just as quickly go back up to 30,000 feet. Nobody could explain what these are. Nobody has explained what these things are doing and why they keep popping up in different places. And now we're starting to see more and more people who are very credible people here coming out of the woodwork to talk about the kinds of experiences that they have had with these things, whatever these things are. Now, do I think these are UFOs from another place? Probably not. I think that's probably the least likely scenario. My thought is that it's probably some kind of technology designed to trick the high-sensitive instruments that are on U.S. military aircraft, because we do have in the United States a technological advantage in many areas related to our aircraft and our naval ships. And if you can design something that can confuse the operators on these ships, that they're seeing things that are not there, that can certainly create some issues. If you can confuse pilots who see this data on their instruments and then can actually visually see these things, that certainly would, I think, throw off pilots and confuse them in a combat situation. So it could be some kind of countermeasure that is just very effective at tricking both humans and their technology. That's probably the most likely thing, I think. But it could also be perhaps some aircraft technology that humans have developed, maybe some skunkworks project that is in the works that might really change the way we look at aviation and probably energy generation and storage. That would certainly be very disruptive to the world economy and probably the power balance in the world if suddenly our entire way of generating energy and traveling around could be made obsolete in a heartbeat with some kind of thing like they're seeing out there. And of course, the third thing could be the fact that these are UFOs from outer space. So we'll have to see how these investigations continue, but I think the most likely scenario is probably some kind of countermeasure. If you want to read more about what one of these incidents was like, you can see this report from the USS Nimitz in 2004, which is probably the most detailed encounter. And this is actually what the History Channel show is starting with. But this is pretty much the narrative that they began their investigations from. And the group that is kind of doing all of this is something called To the Stars Academy. Now, oddly enough, the former lead singer of Blink-182 is the guy that put all this together. And he's been getting all of these well-known within the government officials together to start looking at this issue. And they were the ones that were able to get the military to release what they did for the New York Times article. They have some very, again, credible people that are working together to try to explain what's going on. What they are approaching this from is the standpoint that they don't think the government has taken this stuff seriously enough. They feel like nobody felt comfortable talking about it, and it could very well be a major threat to national security. If some other country has this technology, it certainly would put the U.S. government at risk, and they feel like they need to start talking about this. They need to investigate it and figure out what it is. It could be that it's been ours all along. Who knows? But nonetheless, that's what's going on with this, and it is just fascinating. So check it out. Lots of cool stuff to see in our pick of the week this week.
This channel is brought to you by the Lon.TV supporters, including gold-level supporters, the Four Guys with Quarters podcast, Tom Albrecht, Brian Parker, and Kalyan Kumar. If you want to help the channel, you can by contributing as little as $1 a month. Head over to Lon.TV/support to learn more. And don't forget to subscribe. Visit Lon.TV/s.